What's quarantine life like for you, Terence?
Man, it really ain't no different than any other day. You know, I really don't do too much of nothing, but at the same time, I ain't locked up in the house either. Mm-hmm. So I'm good.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. And this is their new hoax. 35,000 people on average die each year from the flu.
Times of crisis are always great times for fake news and propaganda.
The problem, as the disease continues to spread, fake news is going viral too.
Terence Crawford is a star in the sport of boxing, a champion in 3 weight classes. The man known as Bud is chasing the big payday in a fight against top dog Errol Spence. His comments on COVID-19 not paying off at all.
I'm sorry, but I'm not tripping or worried about this stuff like everybody else. So
this was Bud's preface to a conversation he had with SI's Chris Mannix.
It really don't affect the healthy individuals, just the elderly ones with problems like asthma or breathing disorders and stuff like that. So, but that's like any cold or flu.
Where have I heard this before?
I mean, view this the same as the flu.
Yeah. That's where.
The flu has a mortality of 0.1%. Sure. This has a mortality of 10 times that.
And in terms of contagiousness and lethality, worse than the flu.
Well, yes.
That's Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. You could say he's quite an expert. Bud thoughtlessly references the "it's like the cold or flu" argument. Okay. Let's run with it. Last year, the flu killed approximately 35,000 people. On February 28th, the first reported coronavirus death was announced in the States. As of this recording, we are about to hit 30,000 reported deaths in this country. From February 28th to April 16th, that's not even 2 months. This is not the flu, Bud. The experts were right. It is more lethal than the flu.
I don't feel like all these people that they saying dying and sick from it is actually true. I think they using fear to try to control us right now for something else. I don't know what it is, but me personally, I just can't agree with a whole bunch of things that they saying right now.
Crawford claims Americans and citizens around the world aren't actually sick and dying. Let's check in on the medical staff.
Patient beds line the hallways at Brookdale. There's physically no more room as every inch of this building is now being used.
One of the latest NHS staff victims of the pandemic was a pregnant nurse, Mary Agyapong, who was 28.
We're working 14 to 21 days in a row, 12-hour shifts, so it's really hard.
Well, this is a war zone. It's a medical war zone. Every day I come in, what I see on a daily basis is pain, despair, suffering, and healthcare disparities.
And hospitals.
All the patients in this room, all the feet that you see, they all have COVID.
Today is kind of getting worse and worse. We had to get a refrigerated truck to store the bodies.
How about the prisons?
This is what social distances look like inside a prison.
This is a dormitory. We stupid crowded, we super crowded.
Or this, drone footage of Rikers Island where mass grave sites are being built for those who have perished from COVID. To his point about the dying and sick as factual, technically he has a point. Here's how. The number of cases and deaths are actually underreported. Why? Because the United States has a lack of testing. Hence, there are unquestionably more cases than the current CDC numbers. This happened because, in short, Donald Trump did not push for aggressive testing to keep the number of cases low, helping his re-election this fall. But there's more.
You got to think the media runs the world. So you put anything on the media, then everybody going to run with it, then is it just going to travel so quick? And then now you got a whole bunch of people scared.
Okay, now we get into dangerous territory. The media has been under attack.
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. Tens of thousands of lives by
time that you bought. The argument is that you bought yourself some time. You didn't use it to prepare hospitals. You didn't use it to ramp up testing. Right now, nearly 20 million
you're so
people
disgraceful.
are unemployed.
It's so disgraceful the way you said it.
By conspiracy theorists, not just on social media, but physically, with pipe bombs being sent to their places of work. I'd like to hear his reasons for it being a media-driven conspiracy. What are the benefits? 22 million people are unemployed. Another number underreported as phone lines are jammed for workers trying to simply file for unemployment.
My thing is this: if it was so bad, like they say it was, then why they got people out there working on the streets and stuff? Why they got people picking up all the trash? You know, why they got all these people still working, but you only can have takeout?
Again, this can be easily debunked, Terence. Why are people like, using his example, garbage collectors still out? Because it is a job under the title of essential business, similarly to pharmacies remaining open and grocery store clerks having to come into work. Going further with your example, garbage collectors are now more essential than ever, as we are mandated to stay home to flatten the curve of COVID. Countries are shut down. Folks are unemployed. Family members are dying alone in hospitals with no one by their side in their last few moments of something we should all cherish: life. I welcome the discussion with Terence Crawford. More importantly, I hope I helped him change his tune. This is serious. Please take it that way and stay safe.